Are you worried about today's dire financial situation?
Put simply, I would argue the Biden economic plan is working.
The storms on Wall Street continue today after regulators seized the assets of Silicon Valley Bank, marking the largest bank failure since the 2008 financial crisis.
Do you worry you'll have enough to pay your mortgage, pay your children's college tuition, enough to retire?
I believe our banking system remains strong.
Regional banks in focus once again today as the market digests the fallout of the First Republic failure.
You have questions, we have answers. It's the gold standard with Ken Russo and Jennifer Horn.
Yes, it is. And thank you for joining us once again on the Gold Standard radio show. Ken Russo and Jennifer Horn back together. And Ken, it's always great to see you in studio, even with the world kind of going chaos. It's like chaos around us. You still have that smile on your face.
I'm shocked.
That we're all
they had
still
to close a In-N-Out Burger in Oakland.
Well, they had the double-double there. You get a single hamburger and a carjacking. That's the double-double at that Oakland.
Things are going the wrong way, Jen, when you're waiting in line for a hamburger and,
I learned
goes bad.
I learned a new term this week because, we both live in California. And thanks for listening wherever you are across the country. Do you know what bipping is?
I heard you talk about it this morning, but I didn't know what bipping was, no.
So Gavin Newsom, our governor of California, and maybe soon to be president, who the heck knows? God help us all. Gavin Newsom wanted to throw money into a program to tackle bippers. And so I actually had to look it up because, I thought I'm pretty irrelevant if I don't know what a bipper is. A bipper is someone who just steals stuff from your car. You've been bipped if someone steals something from your back seat.
New category of employment. What
Right.
are you? I'm a bipper.
I'm a bipper from way back. I'm from a long line of bippers. I'm a big bipper.
This country's lost its way, Jen. It's headed in the wrong direction in every way.
It sure has. And we are going to talk about, Putin's been getting a lot of attention this week after his big interview with Tucker. What did we learn from that interview with Vladimir Putin and Tucker Carlson?
Putin talks the dollar.
Putin talks the dollar.
That's what I took from it, because obviously this is more of a financial, sort of opinion sort of thing of protecting our money. So I'd like to comment a little bit about what Putin remarked about our dollar.
I think it's important because it is always important to know what other countries, especially our adversaries, think about our dollar and about our economy. And we're going to talk about that today. But first, before we do that, we must jump in and tell you how we got into the financial situation that we're in now, which is a sticky wicket, to be sure.
It is. It is a real... just a hornet's nest of what's coming.
And we could go way back in history, but you know what? Really, we kind of hit the accelerator back in 1971 when former President Nixon took us off the gold standard, creating fiat currency, basically, where he said, you know what? These dollars no longer backed by gold. They're, backed by nothing but the paper they're printed on.
Am I on?
Hold on. Yes, Mr. President, come on in.
Oh, wait a minute. Listen. We got to get rid of this gold stuff, and we got to back the dollar by nothing. Give the politicians the ability to print as much money as they want to print. Let them spend as much as they want to spend. And while we're at it, where's the local watering hole? Get these interns down there. First round is on me. And basically what happened, we have fun with it, but why is a dollar from 1971 now worth 15 cents?
Because of this.
Right. Why is a dollar from 1999 now worth 55 cents? Why is a double hamburger that we talked last week that Reggie wanted at Five Guys Burger, why is that $15.67? No cheese, no sides, nothing. So what's going to happen? We have this Barbara Lee talking today or yesterday, who's running for Senate for California.
Yeah.
Talking about she wants to make the minimum wage $50.
Why not?
Do people realize what's going to happen with all of this?
Honestly, they don't. And that's why we appreciate you listening, because people who listen to this program, they do know.
They do. They're smart. They want to know different ways they can protect themselves. And all of this is very familiar, Jen, because we've been talking about it for a while. And even with what Tucker Carlson talked about with Vladimir Putin, that's kind of what I wanted to get into a little bit, because you and I have been talking a lot about how the world is moving away from the dollar.
Yeah. How they view us.
Well, yeah. And this is something that we've done to ourselves. It's something that even started in 71, but now is really, really accelerating.
Yeah.
With all of this debt and the deficits
And nobody cares. I mean, this week, what was it? $126 billion, I think, so far to pay off student debt from Joe Biden, which is illegal. He's not using the power of Congress. And then they passed the Senate this week, passed like $80-90 billion spending bill for Ukraine. It's endless. And that's just in the last couple of days.
People are going to care when it starts
when it
to
blows
matter.
up.
That's right. So the contention is, Jen, is we're in a big bubble that's been created by a lot of fake money, a lot of debt, abnormally low interest rates. And the question is when this pops, what are you going to have left? That's where kind of gold and silver comes into play. And we've talked about how the world is moving away from the dollar and we're weaponizing the dollar. And listen to what Putin said. And I'm going to paraphrase. And I'm going to look at my notes here. So
yeah, please.
The U.S. has made a grave mistake using the dollar as a weapon with sanctions and restrictions. The dollar is now a tool of foreign policy, and the U.S. will not stop printing. He then said that 80% of Russian transactions in 2022, just less than 2 years ago, was done in dollar-euro. Now, 13% of what Russia is doing is in dollar and in euro.
That is insane. From 80% just a couple of years ago
to 13%.
Now to 13%.
He also said that Russia used to be 3% of trade transactions. They used to do that in yuan, which is the currency of China.
Right.
Now Russia is doing 34% of its transactions in yuan and 34% in rubles. Now, we all know that the world reserve currency is the dollar.
Yeah.
That started in 1944, and that's been a tremendous advantage that the United States has been able to take advantage of over the last, 60, 70 years. We've built a military. We've built airports, hospitals. A lot of good stuff came from that. Unfortunately, the politicians and the central bankers have abused that privilege. And now we're in a situation where this system is built on debt. Everything is debt. The interest we're going to be paying on our debt is going to be paid with more debt. Oh, I have a solution. Let's borrow more.
More money.
Yeah. Let's print more, borrow more. Now, you're an intelligent A+ former student.
Of course, yes.
A successful career woman.
Thank you.
Can you fix a debt problem by issuing with more debt?
I just think about my own life, and let me just tell you, at some point the borrowing has to stop. If you can't continue to do it.
You run a business.
Yeah.
You're a realistic person. So, eventually it's going to come home to roost. There's still a lot of speculation going on. There's a lot of gambling going on. People are pushing buttons. They don't know what they're doing. They have a fear of missing out. That's the FOMO trade.
The FOMO.
Where have the principles of the fundamentals gone? Where's the foundation of our money? So the point taken from Putin is that the world is seeing what's going on. They see our deficits. They see our debt. They see the borrowing. They see the leadership. They see the lawlessness in this country, where we're headed. They are doing whatever they can to diversify themselves from the dollar and from our debt. My question to you, or anybody who's listening to this show, why wouldn't you do the same? If this whole system is so dangerous and it's not private, and the main currency that we have, which is the dollar, people are not trusting it as much as they used to, and they're getting away from it. The
Why
old
should
saying,
you?
Follow the money. People better wake up. They better realize what's happening and protect themselves from what's on the way, because no amount of printed money, no amount of more debt is going to be able to stop the popping of this huge everything bubble. And that's where we are. We're in a huge bubble. If you're fortunate enough to have some wealth through trading, investing, lucky, you inherited, I'm begging you, diversify, protect some of it. Let's see what happens when the dust settles. No matter what, Jen, you're going to at least have that gold and you're going to at least have that silver.
Because gold has held its value in history. Just look at gold. It has increased its value. It's held its value. And I would say to look at it this way. In the best case scenario, gold and precious metals, they're a hedge against inflation. The inflation that we no doubt see, we know it's here. But in the worst case scenario, gold could actually be used as your currency. I'm not saying you have to hit the panic button. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't have a crystal ball. But if things get really bad and we are headed for this reset, you want to have a little something outside of the system that's going to give you your privacy, that's going to give you protection, and that's going to give you something to use. So at the very least, get it as a hedge against inflation, but it's nice to have in your possession, potentially, if you need it down the road if something really bad happens.
Well, all of that's important, Jen, the safety aspect and the control aspect. And it's so important to have purchasing power outside of the banking system and outside of the markets. Who knows how all this is going to end up? Is it going to be torn down on purpose?
Yeah.
Is it going to come down because the numbers have gotten so outrageous? I don't know. No one knows. But what I know is that we're in the riskiest environment in our history.
Yeah. And
So-
there's good news because you can do something now to protect yourself.
And being in the most risky environment would cause for the most defense.
Yeah.
So hedge your bets, lighten up on the paper assets, give yourself a better opportunity to survive financially, and that's where the gold and the silver comes into play.
Absolutely. And our friends over at Midas Gold Group, they are America First Patriots. They are veteran owned. And what I love most about the guys over at Midas, and you know this, Ken, you're there as well. It's not a call center. You're not just calling some guy named Bob somewhere far away. You're talking to people. You're getting your options. You're going to be able to work through something that really works to meet your needs and the needs of your family. And you can do it in a couple of ways. You can go see them in person if you're in Thousand Oaks, California, or in Phoenix, Arizona. Or you can call 855-322-4653. That's 855-322-GOLD. You can also text the word gold if you prefer to 232425, and Midas will get right back to you. And always check out the website, MidasGoldGroup.com. This is important. This is the time to take action. You don't want to be trying to play catch up if this bubble does pop. 855-322-4653.
Yeah, things are going to move too fast, Jen, at that point. So you got to make some moves now, position yourself to survive financially. And like I said, you'll be in a better spot to come out of this on the other side.
That's right. And this is something that's away from the system, away from the banks. Some of you may already have had the opportunity to see that these banks are closing, that the banks are collapsing. You're not hearing about that in the mainstream news media. So protect yourself. Take some of that money out of the system. Keep it privately, hold it privately, and protect yourself with gold and precious metals. Midas Gold Group available right now. 855-322-4653. Don't wait. Give them a call. 855-322-GOLD. You can also text the word gold to 232425. And of course, always check out that website, MidasGoldGroup.com. That's MidasGoldGroup.com. And we're going to do a little gold show and tell next.
Yes.
It's a Gold Standard Radio Show with Ken Russo and Jennifer Horn.
Dr. Gorka here. You're listening to The Gold Standard with your hosts, Ken Russo from veteran-owned Midas Gold Group and Jennifer Horn. Owning private money in the form of physical gold and silver is perhaps more important than ever to your long-term financial security. As U.S. banks fail, the Biden administration sends hundreds of billions abroad while depleting our strategic oil reserves. However, the biggest financial threat may be coming from within: central bank digital currency. The patents have been filed and the big banks have released plans for implementation. Midas Gold Group sees tyrannical implications, the end of cash, the end of financial privacy, big government able to see your every purchase. Could there be ties to social credit? Hear more commentary on the political and economic issues that affect your financial security right here on the Gold Standard. You can create your own Gold Standard with a call to Midas Gold Group, 855-322-GOLD. That's 855-322-4653, MidasGoldGroup.com.
Welcome back. It is a Gold Standard Radio Show. Ken Russo and Jennifer Horn here with you. Thanks for joining us. And Ken, I always love staying with you in studio because you always bring in things for us to look at. And typically they are shiny.
I thought it was for my personality and impersonation.
It's for your charm. It's for your charm, your wit, and your good looks, but also for the fact that you've always got a little bling on you.
Yeah. Well, these are real cool.
That's blingy, is for sure.
Now, when we talk about gold, Jen, we know that it's physical.
Yeah.
In our opinion, if you don't hold it, you don't own it.
What's the point, right?
The point is to be diversified. And a lot of advisors, obviously, well, we can get you gold, but it's paper gold or shares in a gold company. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about distancing yourself from the paper markets and from the fiat monetary system, and that means physical gold and physical silver. These are gold bars, and these are 100-gram gold bars. So there's 31 grams in an ounce, so we're talking that these bars are over 3 ounces per bar. This is a poured cast bar, which means that it has a different appearance. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah,
Kind
I
of
love
a rounded edge, very pretty, and it's got the emblem on the back.
Yeah.
Which is like holographic almost.
And it's stamped and it has serial numbers on it. Then you have the regular kind of smooth finish on a bar.
Yeah.
And this is Swiss gold. A lot of the best gold in the world comes from Switzerland, but
they do chocolate and gold well.
They do.
And cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. I think I actually would. That would be a place that I would like to visit.
Me too. I hear
that
it's
would
beautiful.
be a place, maybe the Alps. But the point being, Jen, is it's very important when a person calls their gold dealer or wants to diversify in gold that, number one, they deal in the right products.
Yeah.
But number two, they deal with a company that cares about their benefit, the client's benefit, not the company's benefit. We've been getting many calls lately from clients that are doing business with other gold dealers, a lot of gold dealers that advertise with conservative radio. We know the names. A lot of companies that advertise on conservative television. We know the names.
Yeah.
These clients have been put into products that have weird animals on coins that have been marketed by a specific company so that the client can't price shop the product. These clients are being told that these products are very rare. They're worth a lot more than just the gold and the silver. The problem is, Jen, is when you have to sell these products, somebody has to want to buy them.
Right. And they may not want the one with the squirrel on it, right?
Well, that's right. Or some, coin from New Guinea that has, a picture of a lion's head on it, right?
Right, because that's how you would make money back is by selling those. You want something that somebody's going to buy, right?
You want something that's known worldwide.
Sure.
You want something that's liquid. You want something that if you have to convert it back to cash or your kids have to do it or whatever, it's easy to do. It's not going to be dependent on that dealer still being in business to buy your coin. Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of clients have been calling and say, hey, listen, I need help. I want to get out of these weird products. I want some basic bars or some basic rounds or coins. These companies don't want to see their clients. They don't want to meet them face to face. Anybody who's doing business with a dealer like Midas Gold Group should have the assurance these guys meet some of their clients face to face. In the office, they do buying and selling.
Yep.
So even if you're in Orange County or you're in a different part of Arizona, you can't come into Phoenix. You can't come into, Ventura County, California. You can do business over the phone knowing that you're going to get the best product for you. You're going to get a product that's going to give you the benefits of gold and silver.
That's right.
And worst case scenario, if me or my family needs to take a drive and go see my gold and silver dealer, I'm going to be welcomed rather than not being able to reach my representative.
Or not even knowing their name in many cases,
Yeah, and a lot
right?
of these places, they use fake names. I mean, I can tell stories that it's just outrageous. I had a client just yesterday that said, well, I did business with this other company because they told me they have an office in Des Moines, Iowa. I says, are you they don't have an office in Des Moines. I know who these people are. I know the owners of these. So it's unfortunate, but there are good people in this industry that can do some good things for people when it comes to diversifying in gold and silver. And I would just encourage people to know that. There are some good people out there that are going to fight for their clients, and there's a lot that goes into it. So that's important.
And I want to speak to that just for a second because being in the radio business, which is, I don't come from finance. Sometimes that's clear on this program. I don't come from finance or gold or that world. I come from the radio world. And so I've had the opportunity to meet with a lot of different companies who trying to sell gold products. And you talked about them, some of the big names that you see. What matters for me when it comes to my money is that I want to to see someone in front of me. I want to be able to develop a relationship. So if I have questions as I go through the process, I feel like I can call someone, that I have a representative that I can go to when I have questions, or if I want to buy more or make some changes. And with Midas Gold Group, you actually get that. You get that conversation. You get the people that are going to show you your options. They're going to sell you real products, not like the flying squirrel from Papua New Guinea or not that I'm sure that's bad.
You know,
but
I mean, not that it's a laughing matter, because we're talking about a lifetime of savings
this is
here
your
since
wealth.
Some people.
You've worked your entire life for
It's
this.
actually pretty criminal. And it's really underhanded and it's sleazy.
And that's why I love the fact that you can go in. You know, if a company is willing to have a storefront when they deal in products like this, they're willing to have a conversation with someone face to face. That matters. That means your reputation is on the line when you're seeing someone face to face. And we tell you can go see Midas Gold Group face to face in Thousand Oaks if you're in California, or you can go visit them in Phoenix, Arizona if you're in the state of Arizona. But you can also call, and you can call and talk to real people, not talking heads in a call center, at 855-322-4653, 855-322-GOLD. The text message, great. If you like to do that, they'll get back to you. But I would say give a call today. Talk to someone, especially if maybe you've already purchased gold from someone else and you want to see, maybe I need a new dealer.
Yeah.
This is the opportunity, 855-322-4653. And if you're new to gold, great way to start is by having a conversation, 855-322-GOLD.
Yeah, I think a lot of these endorsers too, Jen, would be shocked if they knew, these people are
big
saying
names. Yeah.
I mean, so I would just say it's really, really important to do business that you can trust and that you feel that are reliable. Not to mention our money, okay, which we also have to feel is trustworthy and reliable. I just wanted to comment one other thing that Putin said in the interview with Tucker Carlson real quick, and I'm paraphrasing. The U.S. decisions of the dollar are damaging the U.S. economy and U.S. as a world power.
Wow.
As soon as the U.S. used the dollar as a tool of political struggle, the advantage of the dollar as the world reserve currency took a blow. This is a stupid and a grave mistake.
Dig in for that. What do you think he means? Why do you think he feels that way?
Well, we all know that if people don't demand the dollar, or if people sell our debt, which seems to be the pattern, a lot of these central banks are selling our debt. They don't want to buy our debt, and they're diversifying their reserves, and they're not holding as many dollars as they used to. The demand for the dollar goes down. Anytime the demand for something goes down, the price goes down. In this case, the value goes down. So the more that we print, the more that we borrow, the more that these other countries like the BRICS get together and do business between themselves, the less demand for the dollar. That means less value, less buying power.
For us.
So everybody who's listening to this and hears what Putin is saying, it's bad news for the purchasing power of your dollar. It's bad news for the safety of your dollar. And it's certainly, when we're dealing with a desperate government, bad for the privacy and the control of your dollar. So you have the ability to kind of distance yourself from that. You have the ability to, have some private money, real money, not fake currency. So my contention would be to take some of that fake printed currency and convert it into some real money like gold and silver, and do it while you can.
Yeah, do it before the U.S. continues. And it's sad. I don't think any of us say this lightly when we see that the U.S. has done things, that we've had leadership that have made decisions that have really sent us in the wrong direction.
Yeah, and it could happen a little at a time, Jen, and then all of a sudden, right? I mean, that's kind of how I feel. It's like the dollar's being chipped away at, our country's being chipped away at, little by little. We've lost our way.
And we
all
all
of a sudden, there's going to be a huge avalanche, and then it's going to be too late. Our leaders are going to be, what now? Like we've heard before.
And then, unfortunately, then I think it's a reset or it's something else, right?
Well, there gets a villain. Who's going to be the
Who's
villain?
gonna be the
Who are
bad
they
guy?
going to blame it on? Are they going to blame it on China, Putin, Trump? Are they going to blame it on aliens? Are they going to blame it on climate control? I don't know.
Yeah.
But the question is that it would be really silly to lose all of your money and all of your assets during that process. I hope it doesn't happen. We're not giving financial advice, but it makes a lot of sense to protect your IRA.
Protect yourself.
Protect an old 401k. Protect your savings. Now's the time to do it.
And here we go. Pardon the pun, but the silver lining.
Yeah.
Is that you still can. You can do that with precious metals. So call Midas Gold Group this week. Call them today. 855-322-4653. 855-322-GOLD. You can text the word gold to 232425. You can always check out the website, MidasGoldGroup.com. That's MidasGoldGroup.com. And the face-to-face aspect, really
Music's
big.
starting, Jen. The music's starting.
It is. Thousand Oaks, Phoenix, Arizona. 855-322-4653. Thanks for joining us this week. It's a Gold Standard Radio Show with Ken Russo and Jennifer Horn.